I think one word that best describes me is patient. I can listen to other people, and I think I can just kind of keep things inside myself and wait.
I like to think through what I try to do and my decisions, and so I think I try to live my life in a calculated way.
I'm passionate about everything that I do. I think that's my main driving force is because I have a passion for learning new things, and I have a passion for creativity.
I have a lot of things I want to get done in life, and the only way to do them is to get pumped for them, so I try to be motivated.
The next generation of leaders will face unprecedented challenges, and they're up for it. They want to be ready. My concern is that we're not up for it, that we're not doing all we can to prepare them. Consider this. Less than a quarter of employers believe that recent college graduates are well prepared to analyze and solve complex problems. And just 18% believe that these graduates are well prepared to work with others who come from different backgrounds. This is unacceptable. These are students who have successfully completed 16 years of schooling. So we need to do something differently. What is the most important thing we can do to help prepare this generation? Teach them how to work together to solve real problems.
District C recruits a diverse group of students by partnering with local high schools. Students from these schools come together to form C Squads. C Squads are 4 students from 4 different schools. And with coaching, these squads solve real problems for real businesses. Now, the problems are messy. They're complex. There's no right answer, and there's no right way to get to that answer. And this is exactly the kind of work that these students should be doing.
I'm excited about the challenge just of the C Squad program, District C. I like to be challenged, so I think it'll provide me with an opportunity to overcome challenges and just approach it in a different way.
Most of my projects I have rubrics for, and I know what I'm doing and I know what to expect. This I don't know what to expect, and that's the most exciting part about it, and I'm ready for this experience.
In high school you get, okay, here's the lesson, here's the homework, here's what you have to do, let me teach you, and now it's a chance for you to say, oh, this is my goal. I have to figure out how to get there, which is new.
The one thing I guess you could say I'm nervous about is that I won't have the answers, but I suppose as goes with anything, so might as well try, right?
District C partners with businesses who provide the problem context for our student work. And Fleet Feet Sports is a great recent example. These businesses want to help, but they also need help, and they recognize that these students, when given the opportunity, can actually help them solve some of their messiest problems. And of course, for the students, this is what motivates them, knowing that the work is real, that their ideas count and might even be implemented in a real business. On launch day, our C Squads have the opportunity to meet with the business client to understand the problem better and the context surrounding that problem.
How standardized do you think is the current sort of training process and the fit process?
We can change the fit process based on, at a certain level, who the customer is.
There's so much right now that we don't know, and so finding something to hold on to say, okay, well, where are we going to start asking questions? Where do you start asking questions, and where do you go from there? And with those answers, I think we'll find more direction in what we want to do.
I'm sure that there'll be some changes. We'll have to overcome some obstacles, but I think that if we follow that general plan and take things as they come, then we'll be all set.
Okay, maybe we're trying to go at this too broadly, we're trying to fix all the problems at once.
After launch day, the students continue the work in a virtual environment. So they're using online tools for collaboration and meetings, and we give them a lot of rope. The students are in charge of setting their own schedules, determining the agenda. They make the priorities for how they spend their time. And there's definitely bumps along the way, but they figure it out. They figure out how to use the tools and the mindsets that we've taught them to leverage each other's strengths and ultimately to understand and solve a problem.
I feel like it'd be very helpful to have a solution that would allow Jordan to communicate, like Clay said, better with math. So translating those emotions into numbers.
Now that we're talking about all these things, I think we're well on our way to actually defining Fleet Feet's problem.
I kind of need to just brainstorm.
So do we want to take 5 and just
try and like work through what we've got.
One thing I might recommend, you guys did a really nice job in the meeting. With every solution you said, you referred back to something Matt and Jordan had said. So you guys really stayed grounded in the data.
Yeah.
Do that again here. Don't lose all this learning that just happened. So take that time to digest.
All of this work leads to pitch night, which is actually less about making pitches than it is about giving the squads an opportunity to workshop their ideas with the business client. It's not about assigning grades or declaring a winner. It's about actually discussing the real work. Like let's actually discuss the viability of these solutions.
There is sometimes a little bit of inconsistency in sort of employee knowledge. To improve employee performance or make it more consistent, you have a couple of options.
And then the employees would be hired based on what non-negotiable area that they're going to specialize in.
If they're looking for expert knowledge in one of those areas, be redirected to an employee that's responsible for knowing that and confident in knowing those areas.
So the central focus of our solution is going to be how to turn our employees from generalists into focused experts.
It seemed like we were always moving too fast or too slow, so learning that balance was something that was hard for us to overcome.
We had a few hours every week where we could actually all be online at the same time, and we learned how to work with that by, during those meetings deciding what we needed to all work on individually, and then coming back together and discussing and altering and meeting those, but not spending our time together working, instead spending our time together talking about the work we did on our own, since time was so limited.
The fact that we had so many ideas, we all we had to decide which idea to focus on.
We thought that they handled it great because it wasn't out there. We didn't expect that these had these like sort of crazy solutions. It was absolutely in line with the meetings that we're having, the things that we're talking about. And I also really liked how when we pushed back, they were willing to sort of accept our pushback, but also dig their heels in a little bit and get defensive about it. Like, no, I took ownership of this is my problem. And because of that, it told us how much they thought about it and how much they sort of took it upon themselves to really invest in the solutions that will bring back to our business.
It's a big confidence thing. I feel like I'm more confident as a communicator as well as a leader.
I learned how to tailor big concepts, ideas down to something that's specific and deep and really important. And that was good practice because this was a really open opportunity and we got to tailor it to what we wanted to do.
Working in a team, I had to realize how to leverage each person's strengths for the team to be successful.
This experience has clarified just my idea that anybody can be a leader. I think it's been very amazing to see 4 very different people come together and all be leaders and work as a team.
We are working with the future generation. We are building the next generation of leaders. And we're so excited to say that the students who we're working with are ready for the challenge. They want to be leaders. They want to make a difference. They are already taking proactive steps in their lives to be a part of change and to be a part of making a difference.